Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Morning Cup. I am so honored because I have the lovely Susan with me today. She is a business coach, but that's not all she is. She has done so many things, but I'm so honored to have her here today. So, welcome, Susan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Caroline. I'm so excited to be here from our old times on Clubhouse. It's so
Yes.
amazing to be back and talk to you.
Thank you. And I know it's so crazy. We were just talking about how Clubhouse, we were on it so much and how it's shifted in the last year or so. But I'm
Yeah.
so glad you're on today because I know you are a wealth of knowledge. You have so much to offer. And that's why I want you to really talk about your entrepreneur journey because I know it's been so interesting. I find it so fascinating. And I know everyone listening will too. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got to being a business coach today?
Yes, so business coach, I would say, is the byproduct of everything I've been doing in my life, my experience. I've been a talent manager for over 12 years, so basically all my adult life. And yeah, so I started when I was still in Europe because I come from Italy. You can tell from my accent that I'm not really American yet. Yet.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, I live now in LA. But as I say, I'm come from Italy, so I used to live there for a while. Then I moved to London, to Paris, and I was always doing talent management. I used to work a lot with dancers mostly, and then I moved to influencers too, since social media started, happening. So everybody went on social media, and everybody became an influencer. And yes, I've been traveling a lot. I've been tour managing all my 20s, and that's where I learned how to deal with not only the entertainment side of the business, but also, the management and see how the back end of each talent, each business work. And then from there I develop strategies and way of it, because it's strategies, but it's more like a way of being that people need to become successful and then build their business, build their image, build their brand, wherever they want to build. So yeah, I would say I learned through experience, honestly, just putting myself and dive into that and living in first place. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's how we learn, right? By actually just experimenting and seeing where the path goes. But I'm curious, how did you get into talent itself? What was that drive initially?
Yeah, so it's a very fun story, honestly.
Yeah.
I would say this job happened to me because I was 19. I was just out of high school. In Italy, we finish high school around end of you're 18 years older. So 19. After that summer, I went just to travel for dance because my ex-boyfriend was a dancer. So I was like, okay, I'll come along this summer. I don't have nothing to do. And then there was this big dance camp where there was a lot of big choreographers for America teaching
Mhm.
there. And that's where one of them actually got sick, and he was in the room in front of me at the hotel room. His name is Philip Shibib. He's a very famous choreographer. You want to Google him or check his Instagram. He's amazing. And so he got sick, and then I was the person that wasn't taking any classes because I was just there as a guest. And so I was like, "Hey, do you want some medicine? Do you need something?" Because I was really everybody was overwhelmed at the event, the organization, because there was so many teachers, so many things going on. And so I was like, "If you need something, let me know." And then from there, we kind of built a friendship. And then he was just out of So You Think You Can Dance. He was planning to create a crew to go on America's Best Dance Crew on MTV when he used to air. And then we start to just be friends. And then it was like, oh, do you actually can you actually help me to take care of my emails because I'm really bad at these. And I was like, okay, let me try, let me see what I can do. And so I started to help him with emails, and one thing's led to another. He created this dance crew. They went on TV, they won, and then they were like, okay, Susan, now you are our official manager, and let's start to travel the world together. And then we traveled for I think 5 or 6 years after that. And that's when I met other choreographer and they asked me to manage them. And then after 2 years in, I decided to create my first agency in Italy when I was 21.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, Europe was getting a little smaller for me. So I started to expand a little bit more, and I started to travel to London, and then I traveled to America, I traveled to Paris, and then I end up moving to LA in 2018. And that's where I am right now. But yeah, just to say, it just happened to me.
Yeah, and that's how it does happen. It's right place, right time, and it
Yeah.
got you to LA, and then moving from like Europe to LA. What was that transition like for you? Because I know you had traveled all over the world, but like actually setting roots in LA, what was that like for you?
So it was very, the thing is that I moved here end of 2018. So I would say I had just a year and a half because after that, 2021, I was in my place. So I didn't experience nothing. Just 2 years, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
walks.
right.
But I mean, no, it's amazing. Like I'm very grateful, I'm very blessed to be here because of course there are so many opportunities. There is a different energy. You feel like you want to do things, and literally everything is possible.
Yeah.
Everything. Things that in Europe is way harder to get, like Europe, there are very limited opportunities, and also the mindset don't help a lot because there is a lot of resistance because we come from a little bit older, mentality where things should be in a certain way to work, and also it gets very hard to break through with anything that is different. I don't say it's impossible at all. There are amazing people that are able to do that. It just I wasn't able to do much. And so here in America, I feel that with the mentality, with the energy, the everything is more aligned. So yeah, definitely a lot of course, you're in a big city. There is an helicopter over my apartment every night. That's changed, and that changed a lot. But from the other side, it's really worth it because of that opportunity, people, and everything that open up for you.
Absolutely. No, I'm sure that was a transition, but it opened up so many doors for you, it seems like. And I'm curious with everything, especially in the talent world and entertainment world, it's there's a lot of rejection. There's a lot of things that happen. How did that maybe prepare you for now doing business coaching?
Um, So how I take things right now is that every rejection has been redirect me to the right path. So I'm very grateful for that. But also I think that I think it's a journey. It's like you start somewhere and it leads you somewhere else. And that's for me, this business coaching and be able to help people not only to expand their business, but also who they are as people. That's the main thing that has been how do I say this? That's what I know. This is the most effective,
Mhm.
because as I say, there are a lot of amazing business coaches, amazing tips and strategy you can find, but until you don't change who you are being, your identity, and it's hard to align to whatever you're meant to do, So I think working very close to celebrity with talents, and I'm very grateful for, make me understand that it's not about what they do, it's about who they're being. And so now is easier for me to help people see in them their potential and guide them towards that option, because we all have so many options of being whoever we want. And for me, I like to enlighten and be like, okay, you can also have this option, this option, this option. Then you can choose whatever you're most aligned with and move forward from there. And that's where you expand everything in your life, not your business, but your relationships, everything. So yeah, definitely being around certain caliber of people make me see what it really is, That sometimes people think, if you only have that strategy, or if I only post more, if I only do that, but it's not about one thing that you do that's gonna make you blow up, or one strategy or one coach. It's about literally you, who you are when you're alone. What do you do?
I think like, you just touched on something so magical, I would say, is it's really being human. It's being able to figure out who is that person behind the business. Because a lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, with business, you are your brand. Like when you are, especially as a coach too, you are finding what is unique about that person, not giving them this is the one size fits all strategy, but yet being able to really gather who they are as a person and amplify that to really let them shine in their business and what they're doing. Would you say that's pretty accurate?
Yes, it is. Is exactly that. And also, we have so much conditioning. We have so much traumas that come from our past and stuff. So, literally, just a lot of people try to become more, while the only thing you need to do is literally peeling yourself out of all these things that you've been conditioned, so you can, you know, be your true self, which is everybody's like, be authentic, be your true self. It's not that easy. Because of course we try to
Yeah.
be, we always think maybe if I only be like that would be better. If I only do that would be better. And we don't even realize, because it's such an unconscious level that make us so, insecure about certain things, that we choose to be different than what we truly are. But there is no other way than, oh, now we went so, I don't know why but we went this deep today. That's what happened.
Hey, anything can happen on the morning cup. Having deep conversations. I love those.
Right? So yeah, but that's pretty much it. Like being able to recognize that literally who you are here to be. There is no good or bad. There is only, perspective. There is only your own or other people's judgment. And there is no way to make everybody happy. Is impossible. So honestly, the more you're able to peel yourself out of all these limiting beliefs and things you think you should do, the more you're able to come out and use your own magic, your own, uniqueness, because there is no other way to stand out. There are so many things and so many things that people are already doing, that if you always try to be somebody else, which is okay at the beginning, just to learn about yourself,
Right.
But at one point you have to find your way. You have to be courage enough to be like, this is me and this is gonna work. Just honestly, this is gonna work 100%. There is no other way to make it work than just be yourself. So
You're right. Like, so many people struggle with that because they think of the insecurities or limiting beliefs, not being good enough. All these things come into play, but being able to take that step back. And when we're starting out, it's learning. We're grabbing from like other people. Like, we don't reinvent the wheel. We just go on the wheel and figure out our own uniqueness on that, but being able to really shine in our light. And I'm curious, how have maybe like a success story from one of your clients, have you been able to help them like really shine their own light in their business? I would love to hear. I'm sure everyone else would too.
yeah, so with talent management, I always say it's not easy to quantify the amount of help that you give to a talent, because it's all an unfolding for them. So
Right.
what I can say is that I could have just building a very true friendship and relationship with all my talent, and having very deep conversation about things that things that I will see in the way they might react on jobs, or the way they might excel in certain things or get triggered in certain things, that will help them see the perspective from the outside. Because being European, we are very straightforward, especially when I work with my clients. I'm very honest, and they know. That's why I'm not for everybody, because I come here to tell you the truth, and sometimes it's not what you want to hear, but it's what you need. And then you can make a decision. But every trigger is an opportunity to make a change if you're ready for it.
Right.
So for me, it's been more like the way of seeing where people, because from the outside it's always easier. So seeing what they're good at, see what they struggle with, and be more like, okay, this is what I see. This is the opportunity that I see opening up for you, the option that I see. And this is where I see that you kind of forcing it. Like, how can we expand in what you're good at, and how can we try to either delegate, or we can kind of remove what doesn't work. And through the process of relationship conversation, and also just helping them to see themselves more, that's where they were able to, okay, I'm more, even if I dance, let's say I love fashion, let's create a clothing line. Or I love singing, let's also sing. Or other people, they be more inclined to choreograph instead of teaching classes. So we will work towards that, amplify what they're good at, so there is less resistance. That's, I feel, it has been my role.
Yeah, and it's thinking outside the box, right? It's being able to get very creative, where they don't just have to, if they were just a dancer, they're not just a dancer. They have the opportunity to maybe go into fashion, or go into writing, or go into something else, but being able to have that container for them to navigate that in a way that makes sense for them. And it goes back to that uniqueness of who they are as a person and what they want to achieve. And that's exactly what it sounds like you help them do. But I really admire the fact, because I think it's being direct. And I know a lot of Europeans, I have some friends that are here from Europe, and they're very direct. And yes. I love that. I mean, I've gotten better at being direct. in a graceful way. But I think too, it's being able to be direct and be assertive. And I think that's a quality that is sometimes missed. And I think it's an important quality to have, especially with coaching, because when we're able to show something that's maybe not talked about as not enough, or friends will be like, oh yeah, that's fine, when there's really something to be addressed or to look at it in a different lens. And that's where you come in as a coach to really be able to help them see it and tell them straightforward so they can have that success. It's like growing pains, and like we don't like them, but they're necessary.
Yes, and especially high profile talent or celebrity, they have a lot of people around them that they lie most of the time just because of keep the energy on a certain level. And so sometimes they look for that kind of directness and authenticity and somebody being real with them, because even if they're used to certain comfort of having people approving things, but we all need somebody that is like, look, we cannot always be right? Of
Right.
course,
As much as we want to.
sometimes, just pointing at something that could have been done better can help them grow and expand, or they will always plateau because they feel like everything is perfect, whatever they're doing is perfect.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Because if you think about it too, like just from if you've seen documentaries or movies, like when it comes to celebrities or anybody that's in the public eye, a lot of people do say what people want to hear versus like being very honest in a loving, compassionate way, but being able to really help them see something that they can't see, because we all have blind spots. And that's the beautiful thing about being a coach, is being able to pull out those blind spots because they can't see it.
Yes. And also it's all about the intention. One thing
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
talking to criticize them, and one thing is
Of course.
talking for expansion, talking for growth. So yeah, it always comes with intention.
Absolutely. And what have you found, like with being a business coach, what has really helped drive you to like continue to do it and want to do it more? Like what is that foundational piece for you of like being the best business coach you can be?
For me, there is nothing more important than helping the collective to raise their consciousness. Because I
Mhm.
realize with everything we've been through as a collective, if we don't keep helping each other, if we don't keep being an empath and keep helping raising their consciousness, we'll always have the same problems. We always deal with things that they should be dealt years ago. We went through this pandemic. I mean, there are things that needed to come out, so it was kind of like a purge then, but there are things that like we are all human, we all, they should be obvious, but it's not, because of society, because of all an antiquated way of thinking. So it's very important, I think, that everybody is serene and find themselves and find their life to be in alignment, so they can stop maybe blame others and throw hate at others just because you are traumatized yourself, and then as a mirror you're seeing in people that don't have, and you know how that work. Everything that we criticize is always something that we see on other people that we haven't worked on. So helping people, guiding them through working on the self can help the collective. And that's something that I will never stop doing. I will do my best to give my contribution for my lifetime to raise this consciousness.
Yes, and that I'm glad you brought that up, because I think consciousness, it's something, it's being self-aware, being conscious of what's going on for you internally. And people hold up a mirror. I used to say this, especially when I was practicing in therapy, like if I was dealing with something, it would walk into my office. No, it doesn't matter, male, female, like issue. I was just like, okay, I need to address this. It was like a big mirror held up to my face of like, still work through this, or this is what you need to work on. Because I think as humans, we are growing, and the more we raise that consciousness of what's going on and like getting to the root of things and not just keeping it on a surface level. And that's what it sounds like. You really dig deeper with your clients. And I think that is something to be commendable and really to look at, of understanding when you are looking for a coach, it's not keeping it at the surface level. It's being able to go deeper and to understand the root of things so you can move forward, you can grow your business. But it's not just about business. There's so many factors that play a part in business, not just business.
Yes, I think business or your brand is something that a lot of people, they want to grow.
Hmm.
And that's why I approach them by helping them with that, while they're in the container, they realize it's way deeper than that. And they have to decondition and become, change their identity or whatever it is. There is no other way for them or for you to grow if you don't change your identity, you know? So that's the thing that I think a lot of people, they miss when they try to grow. They try to, let's say, eat a 6 or 7 figure with the mentality of a 5-figure entrepreneur, and there is no way. You have to change who you are to become or make more. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And it's the more we change into the person we want to be, that we want to grow into. And there's so many layers to us. And that's what it sounds like you're alluding to as well, of being able to, it's another phase, another level of who you are. It's You're shedding those layers that you have to really be that authentic self, to really stand in your light and be able to shine by doing doing the things you want to do, but also being who you are. I am curious, with the pandemic, how did that impact the talent world for you and like what you were doing prior?
Yeah. So I used to work a lot with tours. That was my main thing. I was working on. So one of the tour with this celebrity we were working got canceled and is now restarting. And then also, actually, my last job was the Super Bowl before everything closed. That was the last performance, last show I did. And then after that, everything closed down. It was definitely like, especially for the talent, it was very hard because they weren't used to just be home like that, not having, like way even to train, just to be with themselves and dance. So now it's slowly coming back. It definitely, the dance community got a very hard hit just because even emotionally.
Yeah.
And, so that is something that is still coming back. There was some online stuff going on that we try to do, but it's not the same feeling. I think dance is a lot about community, and it's needed to be in person just to share energy and stuff. So I see a lot of people doing that, but not having feeling the same results. So hopefully now it's coming back, and I see them also coming back as far as for whatever dark place we all have been, not only them, but everybody. Yeah. And so that also is a new version of us that we all see. So always good and bad.
I think it's important to highlight too, as an entrepreneur, like things shift a lot. Like how were you able to pivot during like the core of not being able to be live on tour and helping your clients, but also like even doing things online? I know that kind of shifted, but what was your process in all of that? Like, how did you manage that?
So I would say, thanks God, I work a lot with China. And so I had an heads up like 3 months before everything shut down here, because seeing the patterns there and how it worked, I was like, okay, it's just a matter of time. It's going to be Europe after, and then it was us. So I had a little bit of time to organize things. And so by the time the pandemic actually hit, I already moved everybody online. As I say, it was a test.
Yeah.
So it was a test. It went well for a couple of months. That was the only thing we had. So we had to make it work. But then, of course, like everything, it kind of fade away because people are like, it's not the same. And then, we didn't know when it would end. So people start to be more, the fear start to creep in and be like, okay, we want to, we rather go in and just figure it out something for when we come back than just keep pushing these things that people can't even receive because they are not in the mind state to do these kind of things, So yeah, as I say, it was good for the first 2020 if we kind of make it work online. And then after that, 2021 was a little bit harder because we had to reinvent ourselves coming out again slowly, and it was opening, closing. So it was that, but that's when I really understand that my role as talent manager was kind of like fading away, because I realized I wanted to help way more people than the, 10 talent that I manage, and I manage since 10 years. And they're completely fine. They have an amazing career right now. So they kind of also don't need me anymore. They're really good. But yeah, there are a lot of people out there that can benefit of getting a training or just understand how actually this industry works. Because it's also about that. If you don't know how an industry work, is hard to break through.
I mean, it's a very tough business. I've never been in the business, but I can just see and like have that awareness too of how difficult it could be going through that journey. But your talent was very lucky to have you guiding them through, and now they're so successful because of like the help, but also like obviously their talent and their hard work. But I'm curious, what, like with you and now business coaching, what has been like the joys of it for you? Like what have you learned about yourself, and what are the joys of being a business coach now?
Um, I think the main thing is to see how to see people go to their full potential. You know, we are here just like we have a lifetime, and why not being our best if we can, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I know
Yeah.
it's not, since it's not the easiest thing, having somebody that kind of guide you through certain things, certain steps that you can do daily to kind of grow into that. And as I say, it's always a choice, but when you have somebody that's seeing in you, that push you to, that make you see like it's possible and allow you to be there, that's when I feel like that's the best thing for me, because the more you are yourself, the more you are your best self, the more you can help others. Because then when you are in overflow, then you can help others. And then even if at the beginning you start and you're like, I want to be that because of money, because of fame, during the process, you're going to purify yourself, because you're going to understand what it really takes and what it means to be up there. And you have to be a certain person to be able to stay up there, because that's why you do the inner work, right? Not because when things go good. When things go good, it's easy and you don't really learn much. It's when things go bad that really you're like, okay, if I didn't have this confidence, if I didn't have this kind of things inside me, these tools that I learned during the bad moments, I wouldn't be able to deal with things. And we see with celebrity how high they go and also how down they go very fast. How many lawsuits, how many things that can happen any day, you know? And so literally overnight, universe can take it out of you. And that's why you have to be ready to and know how to deal also with the down.
Yeah.
That's, I think, is the hardest thing to do, but it's also the most rewarding, because that's what you learn and when you grow.
Oh, yes. No, you're absolutely right. I love it. I love that you said all of that, because I do think it's too, it's understanding that there are going to be highs and lows. It's a roller coaster in
Yes.
anybody's life. Like it's never perfect, it never maintains. And like what we were talking about earlier, there like a plateau, like you're gonna have up and down. And I think that that's important to highlight, because I do think that when we are able to understand it is a journey, it's not crystal clear. It's gonna be great, it's gonna be bad, but it's focusing on like the good times and like what outweighs that, and like really being able to move forward from that. Oh,
Absolutely. You
this
say
has been such a fun conversation, Susan, but I'm going to ask you my rapid fire questions if you are ready for them.
already.
Okay. My first question is, who is your hero?
Oh, so my real hero is my mom, just because of how much she went through and to raise me, and how much she has to handle just to be able to, you know, give me a better life than what she had. So she will always be my hero, just because I know I would never be here, not only because she gave birth to me, but also because
That
she,
factor.
yeah, she helped me to yeah, she helped me. She definitely paved the way for me the most that she can, and she sacrificed a lot for me. So always be grateful, always like be my hero for life.
Moms are just like the best. They
Yeah.
are. Well, it makes sense why she's your hero. So, what motivates you to work hard, work smarter every day?
As I say, the collective, and seeing how much, if we all get more conscious and we all get, you know, more empath with each other, how much we can do, how much we can help the planet with, you know, global, the environment, how much we can help each other, just even going through life. There is a war out there still right now, you know.
Yeah.
If only we all would be more united, more aware, more caring for each other, this probably wouldn't happen, you know. So those are the things that motivate me. And then I know it's going to be a ripple effect. So you have one person, it's going to happen, so you do the most you can in your life.
Yes. No, you are absolutely right. It really is that collective. And it takes one person, one
Yeah.
interaction, and being able to communicate and creating space. And that's what I love why you do what you do too, because it is about heart. If you were a superhero, what power or powers would you have?
I would love to be able to transport myself because I love
Teleport's
traveling.
hot.
Yeah, I love traveling, but the traveling actual flight part,
Yeah.
check-in, I don't like it. So I wanna I want somebody to create that transportation so we can be anywhere very fast. Don't have to do check-ins and stuff.
You know, that is a very like hot answer. That's why I said hot. I was like, because it is true. Like it makes so much sense. Because like
Yeah,
if you think about how we're so connected with technology,
exactly.
it's being created. I swear it's being created. If everybody keeps talking about it, one day Elon Musk is gonna have it for
Send me
us.
the link when they make it, send me the link.
Exactly. I will use it. I think everybody else will too. I love that. That is a great power to have. I second that. If so, if you could share a meal with any four individuals, living or dead, who would they be?
So I would love to. Okay, this will be very random. Elon Musk for sure. I would
Hmm.
like to pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Kanye West. I
Okay.
would
Okay.
like to pick his brain too. Um, Probably my grandma because I wasn't able to meet her, so I would
Mm.
like to talk to her and meet her because I know she was the best friend of my mom, also not only her mom. So I know she had a lot of wiseness. And last one, I would say probably Sadhguru. I don't know if you know him.
Mm, hmm.
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
yeah, I love how he deliver, whatever these teachings. And yeah, I think it would be very interesting to share a meal with him.
Yeah. No, I feel like that table would be very interesting. Just so many different minds together. And that's why I love this question because it truly just like how fascinating people are and like being able to kind of dive a little deeper, like that consciousness we've been talking about. And then also with your grandma too, like just getting to know her on a more personal level. But I think that's amazing. That would be a fun meal. I might want to step in. I've been stepping in all these meals.
Yeah, right. So many meals.
But people are so fascinating. I love it. What is the most daring thing you've ever done?
Ooh, moving to LA.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
very daring.
let's see PG. Moving to
I feel like maybe PG-13. It's LA. LA is a very interesting town.
LA.
Or city, I should say. But I mean, that is very daring. Moving to a new country, because that was the first time you moved outside of the country, right?
Um,
Or I mean, outside the continent.
Outside the continent, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I had
far.
to correct myself.
Yeah.
That is a big move. I
Mm.
mean, I thought moving across the country was big, but like moving outside of the country, that's pretty big. There's a lot of hurdles that I'm sure you had to go through.
A lot of changes, but super worth it.
Yes, I believe that. It seems like it. So, what is the phone app you use the most?
Ooh, I use calendar a lot.
Mm.
Calendar because that's all my life. I'm not good at remembering things, and also I don't want to because I want my brain to be empty. So as soon as I have something, I write it down and it's done. And then, but every day, not every day, every 2 hours, I go check what I have to do because I have no idea what's going on if I don't check that. So that is definitely my life. Then notes. I write a lot of notes when I have ideas. As I say, I try to keep my brain empty. So I try to write things down as soon as they come because they will be probably gone in 3 seconds. And then social media, Instagram, can't lie, I've been there. That's it pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, those are really important ones. And I agree. The calendar, I think that's a really good tip too. Like being able for the notes section of like when you have a thought, write it down, like get it out of your head because it will leave your head if you don't like remember, have a good memory. Like it's just so many things are going on in the world, just like in our everyday life. So I think that's a great like idea too, just to really use your notes section as much as you can because then
Yeah.
it's clear. Your mind is focused on what you need to in that moment.
And sometimes I think that if that thought was put in your brain, it might have a use. So why not just put it there and at the right time you can poof.
You are so right. Everyone listen to that. I agree with that. What is the last book that you've read?
Oh, so, okay, so I have a bunch here. So I'm the person that start all the books, and then
Ah,
when I feel like it, I go to this, and then I go back to that, and da 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 da. So I'm the person. I will tell you maybe two or three things.
yeah, go for it.
I have here. I have the numerology book. So
Ooh.
numerology, astrology. I've been diving a lot of this kind of stuff because they help me decode things
Mm,
and help
I
me
like it.
align. Yes, so that those two for sure. And then actually, do you want the actual titles or
Yeah,
just
yeah. So
okay?
people can, if they're interested, they can also check it
Okay,
out.
so if you want, if you're interested in numerology, this is the one I'm
Oh,
reading.
I've seen that one.
Numerology. Then I have here this other one, which is astrology.
Oh, very
Wait,
cool. Oh, yeah, now I can.
okay, and then I have this last one, which is human design book. Ooh,
Oh,
ooh,
oh, oh,
how
oh,
to do
oh.
this? Here
There
you
we
go.
go. Perfect. Abundance by design. Oh,
Yes, so it will help you still. I love Gene Keys, human design. There are all ways to kind of go very deep and figure it out who you are as a human being, and then
yeah.
how you can use your skills and your gift to be better for yourself, your business, all that stuff. So yeah, definitely
I
recommend.
love that. And that's also something important for people to know too, that it's not just business coaching and like to really identify the person, like going deeper into different ways of doing that. I think because we didn't really talk about that, but I think that I just want to mention that because I do think that's important. It really gives you another sense of another layer about you.
The more you know yourself, the more you're able to deliver what you're supposed to deliver the best way.
100%. Couldn't have said better myself. So thank you for sharing those books with us. So if you were to have a movie about your life thus far, who
Hmm.
would play you?
Ooh. I would love either Angelina Jolie or Gal Gadot do that.
Oh,
Yeah, if anybody that is not me, then yeah.
I think those are both phenomenal actresses. So I think that would be a very interesting movie.
Right.
Um, so what is your favorite family recipe or one you make together?
Cool. So my mom is Thai, my dad is Italian. And so my dad has a bakery. So he's been doing cakes and pastry and all that stuff all his life. My mom, she's really good at cooking Thai food. And I used to just honestly eat their food. I used to
Hey, I mean, I would too.
I started to really cook when I left home because I was a little spoiled under that thing. I had the bakery and I have the Thai food and I was happy like
You're
that.
like, I'm good.
Yeah, but then after you grow up and you have to start to figure it out. I
Yeah.
can cook anything close to what they do, but I try to use some of the recipe and the things they do. Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite one that like your dad makes or your mom makes?
So if okay, so Italian, I will go anything truffle, like the mushroom truffle.
Mm.
It's my jam, and I love cacio e pepe. The pasta, I don't know if you ever heard about it. Is if not cacio e pepe, I will send you a link to gotta try out.
Yeah.
And then on the Thai side, I love noodles.
Mm-hmm.
Any kind of noodles, like pad see ew is called the
Mm-hmm.
plate. But yeah, I will stay with that. But I have 10,000, so I don't want to make a list.
Well, we got like a few, so that's good. That's good enough. Because a huge part of like I just learned to have the love for cooking. So now I'm really interested in other people's recipes. And that's partly why the question's there. Love it. Well, thank you for sharing with us. So if you were having like not such a great day,
Mm.
what instantly makes your day better?
Go back to myself and either light a candle and then try to connect with my intuition, with my higher self, see what is going on, how can I go through that, why I'm in this state, what am I here to learn in this state, what is the lesson, so I can move through that and move on with my life.
Yeah, and I think that's really amazing too, just to be able to like reconnect because I think sometimes there's so much noise around us when we're having a bad day and just being able to kind of center yourself and really regroup is
Yeah.
amazing. So my next question is, what is your favorite way to spend a day off? So if you don't have any clients, it's just a free day, what do you do?
Self-care,
Yes, love it.
massages, just reading a book, just going for, I don't know, a treatment, like either a facial or something, do my hair, do my nails, like, yeah, taking care of myself for sure. Every
Love
time
it.
it's good to do that.
That is very vital, and I think
Yeah.
not enough people do it. So what is something like somebody who's not in the coaching world, talent world, but mostly like business coaching, what wouldn't they know about it? Like if they were outside of that world, what
Mm.
wouldn't they know?
I think that, as I say, it's not about the strategy, it's about who you are being. And that's something that when you really can grasp it, it can really change your life, because then you get your power, your control back, and you stop maybe chasing for the next strategy, even the next idea, because you know just who you're being is enough to get the chance, the opportunity to talk with that person. And so having a deep understanding of what's your strength, what's your weakness, what you can do for yourself, how to get better, that's when the magic and everything open for you, like everything you want.
Said it so perfectly. It's true. And I agree with that. I think that's exactly what it is. And being able to understand that. And how can people find you? How can people hire you? Where can they go? Everything will be linked below, but let us know.
Yeah, so I ain't got a lot on Instagram. I'm now going a little bit back on LinkedIn, so there, but yeah, it's not fun like Instagram. So if you want to chat, like let's do Instagram. If you want to read serious things about what I do, maybe LinkedIn. Depends on what you do.
You
And
got
then,
options.
exactly. And then actually, I'm now releasing my new podcast next month, and I would love to have you as a guest too. So yes, podcast will be the next thing.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely link that below as well so people can subscribe right away to your new podcast. And make sure to check out Susan on LinkedIn and Instagram. The links will be below. But thank you again, Susan, for taking the time today to share your journey with us and just the powerhouse that you are. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much, Caroline. It's been a pleasure. And as I say, remind me of the old times on Clubhouse. So happy.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. What was the biggest thing that you took away from Susan's journey? Any comments you have, or if you need to hire her, the link's below. Thank you again, and we'll see you on the next video.